Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. This is Ayesha.
And this is Dean. I forgot for a second.
And we are here to talk to you today about the second part of our series talk on nutrition. And today, as you can tell, we're going to talk about healthy snacking. This is going to be an interactive session. We would love for you guys to contribute and talk with us. So let us know what your thoughts are about healthy snacking and we'll have a conversation. So thank you for joining us.
Again, we repeat, this to us is healthcare. Anything that can help people achieve better nutritional health, easier ways to maintain better nutritional health and movement and all the elements of neuro that we always talk about. Snacking is a critical part of this. Snacking has multiple elements of importance. And we'll give you some of the elements. So one thing that snacking does, it curbs hunger. Mm-hmm. And that's critical because when do we cheat?
When we're hungry.
When we get really hungry. And
yes.
that's a common theme you'll hear over and over again. The second thing snacking does is maintain the energy level. Not just energy level as far as how you feel. The amount of glucose released in a equal form throughout the day. So you don't feel hungry. So you have the energy. So it doesn't shock your system to want to do the unnecessary thing, the survival thing. It's the common theme. It's survival. It's fight or flight. So whatever the body even senses that, it will do the necessary things to hoard calories. So if you feel full and you feel satiated with good calories throughout the day, first, you won't cheat. Second of all, you'll actually have the energy to maintain a normal plan of living and nutrition. And thirdly, it's a great way to introduce healthy food to your family, to your kids, and get nutrition in small doses throughout the day. Mm-hmm. We think the reason we started with snacking, I think, is because we think it's one of the most important areas of healthy eating.
Absolutely.
Of the 10 areas, we think this is one of the most important. Mm-hmm. So that's why we wanted to start with snacking.
Absolutely. So we got a variety of different snacks here, and we will go over them, not necessarily to kind of give you an idea of what healthy snacking is, because I think for the most part, most of us know what's healthy and what's not. But what we wanted to talk about specifically was how do you replace some of the things that you tend to eat that's around us with things that are very nutritious, that are very good for the brain. And it's about making choices in preparation, like we said. We're surrounded by vending machines and easy snacks that are available around us all the time. Yeah. But for the most part, they're processed.
Exactly.
And basically, in a small amount of food, you just get a lot of calories, but you don't get a lot of nutrients.
Yes, the food we get is critical. Again, we'll hammer this point because your brain is recreated. The cells are not. We know that the cells, paper just came out today, or actually a couple of them in the last few weeks, but the one that's very formative that came this week, which was that you don't create new cells per se after the age of 13 or so. You might have, definitely you will have connections. You can make billions of connections throughout your life. But the number of cells are determined early on. But the cellular structure, the molecules within, the proteins, all are things that are replaced throughout your life on a daily basis. And what is it replaced by? By food you eat. And especially the snacks you take. If the snacks are bad, it's poison. If the snacks are good, it's medicine. I want to make sure that we create that kind of valence difference, that we make it known that there's that much of a difference. What you put into your mouth is more important than any pill I could prescribe to any patient. That's why the snacking part is critical. So one of the first things is and Ayesha brings this up over and over in talks with patients, is that everybody wants to eat vegetables, but it's not accessible, it's not easy. Vegetables are clunky, big. We look at them, we don't want to touch them because of multiple variables, because they're too big, it's difficult to cut. They don't taste that good, sometimes raw. Yeah. So preparation is everything. Let's look at the raw form of one of the vegetables. We have the uncut form. So uncut, yeah. So,
So it's kind of difficult to eat this.
Yeah, what do you do with
right?
that? Yes.
It kind of looks clunky, and all vegetables are. So it's all about preparing them. And, especially with us having kids, having things that are around us and it's easy to pick and dip and eat is the best way to go. But, like for instance, for broccoli, if you just cut it up like that and then you have a wonderful dip and you dip it into a bean dip and eat it, this is not only nutritious, but it's
delicious.
It's quite delicious as well, actually. I want to eat this, but I'll eat it later.
Yeah.
Other examples are celeries, carrots, and all kinds of vegetables. So the key is to kind of make it available and palatable. And even in restaurants, when you go,
yes,
and when you ask for a salad, especially in restaurants where they have all the other items that are not particularly good for you, for your health. And everybody orders whatever, and then you go with a salad. Most of the restaurants bring the salad and they're just oddly cut lettuce with very sad tomatoes, and they just make it look so bad. But if you cut it well, cutting vegetables is such an important thing. You make it delicious, you make it palatable as well.
Exactly. So number 2 is make sure you have plenty of vegetables around. It's easier, plenty and ease and access is critical. So the more vegetables around the house, in the refrigerator, on the table, everywhere you go, or at work, the more likely that by sheer proximity, you'll have more. You'll eat more.
Yeah, just have it on the kitchen counter, mostly available. A
Sealed.
lid that you can actually put in the refrigerator and take it out easily.
Yeah.
So if those are available,
And the second category of foods are nuts and seeds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So nuts and seeds are an excellent source of good fats, poly, and especially if they're not salted, they're a great snack to have. And you can get unsalted, maybe roasted or unroasted nuts anywhere in the grocery store, and it's readily available, so you can put it in your backpack, you can put it on the kitchen counter and not worry about it being perishable, and essentially just take it everywhere, trails mix, and things of that nature.
Exactly. And so number 4 is make sure the fruits and vegetables are visible in visible locations everywhere. Again, coming back to the same concept of visibility, accessibility, that makes it more likely to be eaten. If we have my mother, she's a organizer, and everything is packed and taken away in places where we can never find them, including fruits and vegetables.
I know, that's right.
So it's critical that they're visible and they're available and they're cut. For example, Sophie loves apple with peanut butter as a snack.
She basically just dips her apples in peanut butters, and that's a great snack.
Exactly. Make sure you eliminate bad snacks. I mean, that sounds obvious.
I put all the bad snack on Dean's side, as you can tell.
Absolutely. It gravitates towards me for some reason. No. But the bad snacks, some of them are obvious. The chips are obvious. But the one that's very popular lately, the veggie sticks.
They're called veggie sticks, but they're basically deep fried puffed potato.
Yeah, but we forget that potato chips are potato. That's a vegetable as well. So it's not healthy. It's fried and it's got sugar, it's got salt, all these things. And these yogurt, I mean, this, you look at it, you say, this got to be a health food, right?
I know. We got a lot of questions about yogurt, and especially fruit yogurt, because, it's a very popular snack. But when you look at it, it's just packed with saturated fats and sugar. And, this small little thing's about 140 calories. I'm going to hide the label.
Yeah.
And it has about 4 grams of saturated fats, which is about 18 to 20% of saturated fats that you need. No saturated fat is good. Sugar is about 17 grams.
Wow.
So just so much sugar and so much saturated fats in just a little bit. And you can get the same amount by volume of snacks from fruits and vegetables without the saturated fats, without the sugar, tons of fiber, and all other minerals that is great for the body. So, instead of filling your stomach with this thing, with very little good elements and a lot of bad elements, why not just stick to whole food?
Or the health bars, the supposed bars.
Yeah.
Please read the labels. The two categories we keep coming, as well as saturated fat and cholesterol. Look at the labels, make sure that they don't have a lot of saturated fat and sugar, and that's the way you can delineate. Number 6 is make sure you have tasty and healthy dips, such as almond chipotle and mustard. And
there's so many dips.
Exactly.
And I think having dips around you is an excellent way of adding beans on a daily basis.
Yes.
A lot of us don't get to eat beans and legumes, and they're a great source of fiber and protein, and they're delicious. I think they're more delicious in a dip form. So
yes.
We have things like this is a white bean and a pesto dip. It's basil and white beans basically, and now of course the good old hummus. Can't live without that. And you can create different types of dips with pesto, with basil and
without the cheese.
Nuts, without the cheese, obviously, and just add
and your
chipotle
from almond.
Exactly, and I make a chipotle almond dip. That's actually in our book, The Alzheimer's Solution. The recipe's in here. So make sure you take a look at it.
One of the things that we get asked a lot is, my kid doesn't like this vegetable or that vegetable, or for that matter, all vegetables. What do I do? Well, hide it. Well, I don't mean that in a nefarious way, in a tricky way. Well, dips are a great way to, take the taste and change it.
Absolutely.
Or even alter the texture or change the shape. So we do that a lot. I mean, we can put any vegetable and with the right dips, they become healthy.
And sauces. You can make mac and cheese with butternut squash and carrots and potatoes in them and not putting cheese in it. So there are a lot of ways to mask vegetables for those picky kids that don't like it.
Correct.
My son doesn't like peas.
Yes.
And we make a sweet pea soup and he just loves it. And
Absolutely.
It's a great source of protein for him.
Love is an understatement. Yes. Number 7, make sure you have the right type of containers in your pantry and refrigerator.
It makes a big difference, guys. Having the right containers that are easily storable and washable makes your life so much easier. Spend about an hour or two every Sunday or Saturday or on the days that you're available to cut up vegetables and prepare your food, and just keep it there. And it works so well on days when you don't have the energy to go
yes.
shopping or buy things. So containers are very important.
A lot of our patients actually carry the containers with them in a little bag or with their, because snacking helps in another way. It helps you from cheating.
Yeah.
When you go to a restaurant, if you eat beforehand or even during, or if you go to a party, it helps you keep satiated and full, so you don't have to cheat. So the right containers can be life-saving.
Absolutely. Or even sandwich bags. Just put your snacks in a sandwich bag, especially when you're going out to work.
Exactly. Number 8 is make sure you have containers for carrying with you to work. I already covered that.
We just talked about that.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Helps if I read ahead. Yes. Yeah. And number 9 is make sure to eat snack before going to parties, restaurants, and work.
Oh, that is such a lifesaver for me. I usually find myself very, very hungry at parties, and then you kind of go and attack the snack bar. Don't you?
Yes, we do. We do, absolutely.
Yeah. It helps if you get a snack. You know what helps? Having apples around.
Yes.
I always tell myself, just eat an apple before you dive into a party.
Yes.
And if you're still hungry, maybe you can dabble a little bit here and there, but not go nuts with all the snacks.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, those are some of the ideas we have around snacks. It's critical that we focus on that, because I think it is going to help with the rest of the meal plan. When it comes to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, when it comes to even with shopping, when you go shopping, have a snack with you so that your urges don't take over the shopping experience. Absolutely.
I think if we use snacks or the opportunity to snack as taking in the best foods that are available around us, that's great, because a lot of us are very busy and we might not eat a very wholesome meal, but replacing it with simple. If you have some chips, it's basically empty calories. Let me show you. Essentially just full of salt and some carbohydrates
and fat,
no minerals, maybe a little bit of fiber, and of course
saturated
fat, depending on what kind of fat it's actually cooked at. I mean, these are always in bags and available, but if you eat something that is of the same amount but it's wholesome, say for example some carrots and hummus, you get all the necessary vitamins, and you take in a lot of nutrients with the equivalent amount of calories. So it's more nutrient dense, and this is basically calorie dense.
Or nutrient sparse.
Nutrient sparse.
Yes, yeah. So that's critical. I mean, you have chips that have no vitamins, no minerals, and bad calories and bad fats, bad sugar. Yet on the other side, you have vitamins, minerals in a synergistic way. The difference is significant, especially if you have kids, especially if you're sick. I mean, we're not going to talk about immune diseases and all those, but definitely our focus is brain. But it affects all of those things. So have healthy snacks everywhere. Make sure you plan. Make sure that you have containers. Make sure that you learn about the different kind of healthy dips. And I think that will do incredible things for yourself and your family's brain health.
And it's all about preparation and planning ahead of time.
Yes. And this is better than any medicine we could ever give in any clinic.
Absolutely. We have a couple of questions, and thank you so much for interacting with us. Go ahead and type in your questions if you have. Let's go to Kathy's question. Hi, Kathy. She says, you obviously talk a lot about Alzheimer's. Are there any insights you can share regarding Parkinson's, and if there are any approaches to help people with cognitive or physical impacts?
Parkinson's is a degenerative disease along the line of Alzheimer's. In fact, underlying Parkinson's, we have another protein misfolding disease, but we know that lifestyle is involved. We actually did one of the biggest reviews on Parkinson's, and we're doing another one right now on nutrition and Parkinson's. And the thing that comes over and over, complex diet of whole food, plant-based is incredibly helpful. Parkinson's seems to be a lot more oxidative driven. So oxidative processes and inflammatory processes affect this disease a lot more. And food groups that have antioxidative effects have positive effect on Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. One interesting thing that we spoke about with a fellow doctor the other day was coffee.
Yep. And
its relationship with Parkinson's. There seems to be, again, not causal, that we never want to overstate the science.
There's an association.
There's a strong association between and lower risk of Parkinson's. So there is a definite relation between lifestyle and Parkinson's. Just look up, we did a scientific paper, a review paper on this a few years ago, and now we're doing another one that they asked us to write and to get published, and on certain foods that have greater effect on Parkinson's.
Absolutely.
And we will have other sessions that we'll talk about Parkinson's as well.
Definitely. Okay, thanks for that question. Richie. Hi, Team Sherzai. Not sure if you will cover this, but what are your thoughts on dried fruits? I know fruits are an excellent choice, but I've heard varying opinions regarding dried, for example, raisins, because of the sugar content. Dates are one of my favorites, so I'm just wondering. I think dried fruits are great.
Yes.
It depends on whether you have any sugar disorder or any glucose metabolism disorder like diabetes or pre-diabetic. Then you should be a little more careful as far as your sugar intake is concerned. But on the whole, I think dried fruits are a great source of fiber and natural sugars.
And making sure that it's you read the labels that they haven't added things to it.
Right, like cranberries actually have a lot of added sugar and canola oil in them. So just make sure that it's wholesome. And dates are fabulous.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Great. Thank you for the question. Saidor, thank you for the wonderful and beneficial information you both are presenting. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Miriam Tarzi, great information on food for the brain. Another question that might be off topic but perhaps can one day be addressed is whether there's any evidence that Bluetooth devices like wireless headphones or having your smartphone close to you at night while sleeping or talking can trigger Alzheimer's, tumors, or brain diseases. We're still learning about that. There have been some research and some evidence that people who use their Bluetooth and their cell phones on a regular basis tend to have a higher proclivity for brain tumors. But as far as Alzheimer's disease is concerned, we don't have any data as of yet. So we're still trying to learn about it.
Yeah, specifically schwannomas, which are these tumors near the ear, as well as some other gliomas that have been associated. But it needs to be studied much more.
Yeah. That's basically it. So thank you for joining us. I think the entire purpose of this talk was to show that Planning is very important as far as snacking is concerned. Have it around all the time. It's an incredibly a great opportunity for you to consume the best foods around you and to not feel hungry and revert to some of the harmful snacks that are around
poisons
that are around us. Okay, and that's basically it. So next week or the week after that.
Next week
And the week after that, we're going to continue this series on nutrition, and we will talk about the different topics. We will let you guys know. Be sure to share this video if you like it and if you think somebody's going to enjoy it and for them to be helpful. Make sure you go to our website to check out some of the latest blogs and recipes. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletters because we actually send out things that we don't share on social media with you guys. And we will see you next week. Thank you so much for interacting with us and for your questions. Really appreciate it. Have a good day.
Bye.